Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in. This episode is particularly for English speakers who do not speak Arabic because I had a lot of requests from my friends and readers to put in a nutshell what I've been detailing over the past 6 months in Arabic for my readers about narcissistic personality disorder. I've also published a book called The Peacock Trap about all the details you need to know about this character problem and how it affects you and how you can protect yourself from it. But it is in Arabic as well. And so I hope to be able to rewrite it, not just translate it, because it was specific to the cultural context of people who live in the Arab cultures. So I will have to rewrite the whole thing again from an international perspective. So meanwhile, here is an audio episode with the main characteristics of this problem. And then at the very end, I'm going to be giving you some Google search terms so you can look on your own for additional information until I am able to finish writing the Peacock Trap again in English. First of all, what is narcissistic personality disorder, or for short, NPD? It is, as the name indicates, a personality disorder. And so this is not just a simple problem of behavior that can be corrected if the person is aware of it, and it cannot be changed over time. To the contrary, it's going to get even worse over time if you don't distance yourself from the person. How does it happen? Two main factors. One of them is genetic predisposition. Some people are born with a genetic disorder, but that constitutes only 25% of the problem. The rest, the 75 remaining percent of the problem, depend on the environmental factors, which are the family upbringing and society, whether it encourages or suppresses the traits of narcissistic personality disorder. And so now you understand why I say I'm going to have to rewrite my book again if I'm writing it from the international perspective. Environment in childhood can either enhance and enable or harness and contain narcissistic behavior. And so even people who have the genetic disorder, who are predisposed to become narcissists as they grow older, if they have been correctly brought up in an environment that teaches them not to use narcissistic behavior, then they are going to be better able to control their urges to act as a narcissist. What is very important to understand is that this disorder does not interfere with cognition in the sense of right and wrong or with decision making. So it does not force them to do what they do. They do what they do fully aware of its implications. They choose to do what they do while they fully understand what they are doing and the consequences, even all the hurt they are going to be causing others. Yet they still choose to go ahead and cause harm. Kids in general learn to use complex manipulation techniques to get adults to do what they want. Normal kids, they would probably stop manipulating people as their characters develop and they are better able to take care of themselves and do things for themselves in life. Narcissistic kids go on to develop and improve and enjoy manipulating others. So here is where the environmental factors step in. There are main indicators that would show you that you're dealing with a narcissistic person, whether in a personal love relationship or within the family or in the work environment or whatever social environment you're in. First of all, inflated ego. They have a grandiose sense of themselves. They are completely self-centered. They use others to serve them, to do what they want. So they look at people as extensions of themselves, as tools to get to what they want to. Unfortunately, they also have no empathy, so they don't feel hurt for other people, whether they cause the hurt or the other people are hurting for whatever reason. They just want what they want and they manipulate people into doing it. They basically see themselves as better than everyone. And so obviously here you see a lot of bigots and people who love discrimination. They have an exaggerated sense of entitlement. They feel that they deserve special treatment and privileges only for being themselves, without any reason to justify that. They are pathological liars. They love to lie. They lie for the fun of it. So even in very small, insignificant situations, they lie because they love it. They probably have addictive behavior, including sex addiction and substances. They never admit mistakes or say they are sorry. They find it very easy to hate, envy, backbite, defame, and degrade others, especially people weaker than themselves or minorities. They enjoy causing chaos, drama, and conflict, even to their closest people. So they are notorious characters, as you can see. Here are some of their famous manipulation techniques. There are a lot more. I've detailed them in my book, and you can go and Google them. The most famous manipulation technique is called gaslighting or crazy making. They basically make you doubt yourself and destroy your self-image and self-esteem. They have you see yourself through their eyes. And it's not a pretty picture they paint of you. So they get you to see yourself as a horrible person, because then they make you feel weaker and you're dependent on them and you need them in your life. Otherwise, everything will crash. They are in constant competition with everybody around them, but not healthy competition, not the type of competition that makes you excel in life. The type of competition that urges them to destroy the competition, to get what they want, to be number one at the expense of others. So they do not understand a win-win situation. It has to be a win-lose situation, and they have got to be on the winning end, no matter what it costs them, no matter what it causes to other people. They also use a technique called triangulation. They always drag a third party, a third person, into any relationship, even in love relationships. So that person would be used to compare you to, or to pressure you, or to make you feel small and inadequate, or to make you jealous, because if you're in love with them, they will intentionally flirt with someone else in front of you to make you jealous, no matter how that hurts you. If you cry, all the better. They enjoy seeing you cry. They have no empathy, remember? So they might even go all the way to cheating, just for the fun of it, just for the pleasure of being able to break the rules, because they hate rules, they don't respect any rules, and just for the fun of hurting you and feeling their control over you, that they are able to get you back even after they had cheated on you and hurt you so badly. They break your boundaries. They enjoy doing that. They don't take no for an answer. They don't respect that you refuse to do something or don't want to do something. And here you can see, of course, all the sexual harassers and the rapists, and what in the extreme sense, if they have the extreme urges that come with being a psychopath, for example. They destroy relationships with your friends and family intentionally to be the center of your attention. They want to be the only important thing and person in your universe. Their needs and wants and interests have got to be your own as well. And so for you to be able to follow their orders, because that's how they run you, you have got to just let go of everything else that you like and enjoy doing, and just focus all your energy day and night on only them. So they control your actions, your feelings, your likes and hates, who you talk to, what you do. You have to always seek their approval the whole time. You have to always live through their own rules all the time, and completely ignore who you are, completely ignore your interests, completely ignore your boundaries. Just be their slave, literally. They go under your skin and they enslave you emotionally and physically. If they are your parent, you can imagine how damaging that could be to your psychology and to the family feeling. And there's an audio series on my channel dedicated to the dynamics of the narcissistic family. So those of you who are listening to me now who speak Arabic, please go and listen to that audio series. They would always follow the same cycle in relationships, and that's a very lucky feature of who they are, because as soon as you start seeing that cycle happening, then you are sure that you are dealing with a narcissist. There are 4 stages of their abuse cycle. First off, the first step, the first stage of the relationship is called love bombing. This is when you first meet. They idealize you. You're a perfect person. They put you on a pedestal and they worship you. Nobody is immune, in my opinion. No one is immune to falling prey for this manipulation technique, because of course all of us love to feel that somebody loves us and cares for us and thinks we're perfect and doesn't see our shortcomings, and that's what they make you feel. Whether they mean it or they're lying about it is not an issue. The issue is the fact that you are going to fall, unfortunately, for that manipulation technique for a period of time until you start, removing the stars out of your eyes and seeing life again. In that stage, they will collect a lot of information from you because they're going to be using it against you later, unfortunately. You will believe that you have found your soulmate, and it will be very difficult for you keeping information from them. So they get you to talk a lot about yourself, and they store that information. They listen very well in that stage. Then comes the devaluation stage. One morning you wake up, you were so high on the clouds and on cloud 9 last night, and then the next morning suddenly you fall out of grace for absolutely no reason at all. There would be no signs, no indicators that they are turning against you. They would just wake up one day, 180 degrees, they change, and you just found yourself out of their favor. Of course, you're devastated and you try to run very quickly and regain their interest again. And that's precisely why they use that technique, because then they are able to train you to seek their approval and do for them what they want from you, so that they can give you back their attention and their love. And in that stage, they will squeeze you dry of anything they wanted from you, whether physical or financial or whatever it is. Then comes the inevitable stage of discard. So no matter what you had done to win them back in the devaluation stage, the discard stage is coming. And it is going to be very painful because they have no feelings, they have no compassion, no empathy. They just throw you away. They literally discard you. And of course, people crash in that stage. Some people need professional help in order to pick them up. Are they gone? No. They let you, writhe in pain for a while, and then they hoover you back. Hoover as in the vacuum cleaner. They suck you back into the relationship now that they know your weak points and how to play you. And now that you are completely destroyed emotionally, so you're very weak and vulnerable, they can easily drag you back. They come back, they talk to you as if you were just talking yesterday. They go through the love bombing stage again. You think that you have been harsh and that you have exaggerated your bad feelings, and that you have badly judged them, and you just fall into the trap again. And if you do, you're going to go through the same stages all over again. I have met women in one of the recovery assisting sessions using art that I have designed with some of the psychiatrists I'm talking to be able to develop this material. I have met women who have been through this cycle within marriage for 30 years. Try to imagine the amount of psychological destruction that they have gone through. So as soon as you find yourself getting into the devaluation stage, please run for your life and disconnect completely from them. What I have to say very clearly here is that to them, it is not really a relationship. To the narcissist, they don't understand what a normal human relation looks like because they don't experience real love. They only love themselves, and not even their real selves, their imaginary self that they wish to be, the one that they are acting, the mask that they put on to meet the world. That's what they worship. So they really don't love you, I'm sorry to say. They just love the idea of going into a new adventure that they have written the script for and produced and starred in. And as soon as they are bored with it, they just trash it and look for a new adventure. And so while you might be, especially in love relationships, really in love with that person, I'm sorry to say that they do not feel anything for you. They're just going through the motions. And they are acting a role in order to please themselves or to acquire a specific something that they wanted. Like, for example, when a narcissistic man chases a successful and brilliant woman who is way above their heads, who is defiant, who would say no, and who wouldn't give him what he wants very quickly, she becomes a challenge. And the harder the challenge, the more they would pursue it. They are hunters, and she's the prey. And so as soon as they get the prey, it loses its value. then comes the devaluation, the discard, and then they look for a new prey. The only way to protect yourself from such damage is to suddenly go no contact. You can Google that, no contact. The no contact strategy is that you wake up one morning when you realize that this is a narcissistic relationship, that you want to rescue yourself from it. So you just go on every app you have on your phone, in all the phone numbers, and you block that person from all the social media, from the phone itself, from messaging you, from sending you email, from whatever communication process or communication mode that you have been using. And never go back to connecting with them again, because if you do, you would definitely fall for the same 4-stage cycle again, the narcissistic abuse cycle. What if you can't do it yourself? You need to seek professional help. Go to a psychiatrist or a licensed clinical psychologist, not just any person who calls themselves a therapist, but somebody who is specifically well-versed in dealing with personality disorders and the damage caused by abuse, and seek their help. Do you tell them that they have a problem and that they need help? No, you don't. Because, very simply, they think of themselves as perfect. Remember, they would not admit that they have a problem. Mostly, I mean, most narcissists. Some would, but very, very, very few. It's a very small possibility that you would find a narcissist who would think, yes, I have a problem and I need treatment. And even if they do, it's a very long and difficult process that most would not endure. So focus on yourself. This is your first strategy, to focus on yourself, on regaining control of your life again, on being on your feet again, and go and get treatment and support from a professional, and just focus on getting rid of all the damage and the toxins in your heart and in your blood from being so close to somebody so evil and damaging. These are just some simple indicators. There are plenty more, so please read up on the subjects. You can Google narcissistic abuse cycle, narcissistic manipulation techniques, and how to protect yourself from a narcissist. I hope I have given you a general overview of this serious problem that is becoming widespread in our world today. I wish you good luck, and I wish you a happy life free from narcissists.